Welcome to more What the Rust. This video is going to be answering a lot of questions from you viewers. Almost, what, 3-4 times a week? People ask us, what happened to this car? What happened to that truck? What do you still have? What's that back in the corner? This video is going to answer that for you. We're going to go through everything we own and also some recent departures, the things we've sold. And just spend a minute on each to bring you up to date with what we have, what we're working on, and what we've sold. This is a 1959 Ford F100 4x4. I really love this truck. It's a lot nicer than it appears. It's got AC, it's got a 4-speed transmission with overdrive. It's geared nice so I can take it on the highway. We take this to a lot of shows. I love it. I was driving this thing literally every day. But what, about 6 weeks ago? The timing chain went. This engine in this thing is super tired. And I was pushing it for a year. I was pushing it, driving around with 10 psi of oil pressure or less. Just trying to get every mile I could out of it. And it finally gave up the ghost. So I'm looking at engines for it. I just haven't found the right one for the right price yet. But this guy, I just love, and I can't wait to start driving it again. So this one, as far as our channel goes, is not that old. It's a 1984 F250. It's a 6-cylinder automatic, so it's no powerhouse. But we got this from the closed Ford dealership. You've probably seen that video. It was out back of the dealership and had been sitting there forever. It had been in a flood. We got it running. Check out the video. It's pretty cool. But I like it. I'm going to start to use this as our local Will It Run truck. It'll hold all my tools in the back. It's super heavy duty. There's just a few things left I have to do to it, and then you're going to start seeing this being driven regularly on our channel.
Now, the only thing you forgot is if they haven't watched the Will It Run, they get to see how cute my grandson Vince is.
Yeah, this is the one we worked on with Christina's grandson, and he did such a nice job.
And he's adorable.
Yeah. So this is a cool truck, like I say, a little bit new. It needs some things, which takes us to this truck. So this is a 1980 Ford F-150 that we got out of the same dealership. And this had also been flooded much worse than the F-250. So I named this one the Ranger 150 FEMA edition. It literally was a FEMA disaster area where this truck was. And this is probably one of my best Will It Runs ever, if you haven't seen the video. It was super challenging. There was 2 full gallons of water in the engine, but we got it going. This one was a loaded truck, extended cab, short bed, captain seats, tilt wheel, cruise, AC, everything. This was a super nice truck that was owned by a railroad, and unfortunately, it's just a little too rough to save. The transmission's gone, and it's just a little too rough to save. So we're using it for parts for the tan one. This was a mess inside.
Still looks nice.
Yeah, and look at that tilt wheel.
I was going to say, you just discovered that was a tilt wheel not too long ago.
I did. I just
and
discovered
I think
it.
that's the Creole that I'm seeing. It's not that there's a leak.
No, that's the Creole I used. This tilt wheel was actually stuck. So I put some Creole in there, and now it works beautiful.
Yeah, and now you're selling parts off this.
Yeah, this guy I've got listed right now, selling parts off of it, and the interest has been interesting. People have wanted all kinds of stuff for it, some of which I'm using on the tan truck, but there's still a lot left, including those captain's chairs.
That door's fine. Yeah. Okay, before you get started on Lou here, I just have to say, Nova is just following us from car to car. She's just so super cute right now.
She loves to be outside with us, particularly at this time of night. She just loves it. Anyway, so meet Lou. This is a 1952 Chevy we bought in Alabama, and we brought it home, and Christina did a Will It Run on it by herself. She did an amazing job. If you haven't seen that video, check it out. Lou is going to be a parts car for some of our other vehicles, and the reason is he is very rusty.
Mm-hmm.
Very. The frame is solid. These frames are built like tanks, but the rest of the car is just so bad. Literally, this door is, you can't see it, but it's nearly falling off.
So is the back door on the driver's side.
Yeah, it's very rough, which I hate to part it out, but sometimes you have to part a car out so that others can live,
Mm-hmm.
and this is one of them.
Yeah. Now tell them the story about, we got it running.
Yep.
You said that I did it by myself, but
Yep.
I had your assistance.
We got this thing running, and I took it for a joyride
On
around
your
the property.
birthday.
And you know, like an hour after, I couldn't find my phone.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, where's my phone? She's calling my phone. We can't hear it. It had fallen through the floorboards in this thing during my joyride, and somehow I didn't run it over. I don't know how. Somehow it didn't get smashed.
Yeah, and it's so funny because if you go and watch the Will It Run video, when he's on his joyride, which he was driving really crazy and nutty. I'm surprised this Chevy did that. I say in the video, oh no, something just fell off the Chevy. It wasn't that it fell off. It was his phone falling through the non-existent floor.
Yeah.
And I remembered that. And in the back of my mind, I thought, it was black and it looked square. Could it have been? And I came out here and sure enough, it was your phone.
Yeah, unbelievable, really.
All right, let's move inside. Okay, we are inside. You want to start over there?
Yeah.
Okay.
So this is our 66 Jeep CJ5. This is a pretty special vehicle to me because Christina bought it right after my heart surgery as a present. And I had no idea that she was doing it. So it was pretty rough, but we got it running. It runs fantastic. And I've been spending time on this. I haven't released the video yet. I've got it to the point where once I wire up the lights, this guy is street legal.
Mm-hmm.
So we're close. And I'm looking forward to that because I love Jeeps.
Yeah, but we have some more things we want to do to dress it up too.
Yeah.
So, but running, yeah, that's pretty much, you're right. Yeah. And it has a fantastic story, by the way, of the person that had it before that I purchased it from.
It really does. It's a little bit of an emotional story. The person that owned this, that we got it from, the guy had passed away. He had got this from a farm auction and he just loved it, and it was his retirement project.
Mm-hmm.
And he never made it to finish it. So we picked it up and we brought it this far, and you know, someday I want to take it out there.
I do too.
It's quite a distance from where we live now,
is.
but I want to take it out there to show them. I think that would be pretty cool.
Yeah, I think when we're finally finished with that, the last few things, it won't be a very comfortable drive.
What's wrong with those seats?
You mean the seat here? Yeah.
Well, we got the seats. We just need to put them
Yeah,
in.
I know. That's one of the cosmetic things
Yep.
I was talking about.
Yep. The most
Yeah.
recent thing I did today is the key switch is now working.
Mm-hmm.
So we're getting there.
Yeah. That was a fun project.
Yeah, video coming
Most
soon.
of which I did on this. It was a lot of work. Now this, I am so excited because we're finally going to start working on this. I'm so excited about this.
So this is a 1951 two-door hardtop Chevy. Fairly rare. It's got an upgraded drivetrain, different engine, open driveline, 55 Chevy rear, Fenton split manifold, Smithy's mufflers. It's a cool car.
Mm-hmm. Why don't
Unfortunately,
can you move that box? So I can...
it was caught in a fire, unfortunately. So we came upon this by accident. We were working on a different vehicle, and I saw this in a burned out shed. Check out that video if you haven't seen it. And I just fell in love with it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why, I just did. And the owner was still living at the time, and it was his baby. It was his pride and joy. And he was so thrilled when he heard it fire up. And this was, I think, mere weeks before his death.
It was, yeah.
And we got the opportunity to buy this later on, and so I did. And it's been sitting here since probably what?
It was February. Mm-hmm.
I think this was the first vehicle we moved into the shop.
Yeah.
And I've only recently now started to work on it. So I've got, the fire really burned up this wheel very badly. So bearings, bushings, everything breaks. So I'm redoing all that. That box is the parts that I need to finish this side. And we're going to be slowly getting this back to life.
Mm-hmm.
I mentioned Lou, the parts car. Some of Lou's parts are going to be here.
Yeah.
The dash, for example.
Mhm.
That dash
The
is going
hood.
to come right out in here. The hood.
The hood fits
Other
this.
stuff.
Mhm.
Sometimes I get comments when people see the videos on this that I'm crazy for doing anything about it. But there's just something about this car. I
Yeah.
want to be able to drive this on the street again.
Well, and mechanically, this car, there was not much damage
No.
under
no,
here. And
no.
it's amazing how much like chrome here, chrome there. I mean,
Yep.
there's a lot of expensive.
Yep. We've
Parts on this.
actually driven this car around the yard.
Yeah.
And there's not a whole lot wrong with it. The clutch is great, and it's got some really cool features, like these are called Mohawks. Super cool Mohawks. It's got a Continental kit, which, you know, I'm not that fond of, honestly. I wish someone would buy this Continental kit from me. But look at the chrome.
I know. Yeah.
I mean, the chrome on this car is unbelievable.
Yeah.
This was a super nice car. Backup lights, blue dot tail lights, you name it. It was really nice. It's too nice to part out or to crush. I just can't do it.
Yeah. No, I mean, and you know, the thing is, this car had sat in that burnt out shed. Yeah, look at this. For over 20 years in this condition
At least.
because he couldn't bear to part with it.
Yeah. He stripped it for reasons we don't understand. Stripped the nose off of it, threw all the bolts away. We don't get that. But again, with Lou, we've got all the parts we need. Every nut, bolt, and washer we have.
Yeah. Yeah. And yeah, it's gonna see, I'm excited because you know, we get to make it our own. So I already picked out the paint colors, which is funny. Tell them about the paint color. I picked out a color and
she picks out a color, and we look up what the color is actually called. It's called burnt orange.
yeah, I did not do that deliberately. It was, I just really like that. It's like an orangish red or
It's
yeah,
sweet color.
it really is. And then we wanted to do the top white.
Yeah.
With that color.
Yep.
And he looked it up and he said, boy, you're not going to believe what it's called. And
Yep.
so
Yep. It doesn't look like much now, but give us a little time.
I know, I'm excited. I'm ready to get to sanding and priming and
Well, we need a door.
rust
for sure.
encapsulating. Well, we don't need a door for all of that.
Yeah.
All right, so let's move on.
Okay, so this is probably the best antique car I have. It's a 54, well, no, I shouldn't say that. It's a real good antique car for me. It's a 54 Chevy 150. So it's the base model, and I put a small block Chevy in it.
Yeah.
Got a
Can you
turbo
open up the
350,
hood?
Yep,
And then the AC.
Yep.
I want, open up the door too.
yep. Before the power tour this year, I put AC in it. I've got a video on that on the More What the Rust channel. And you know, if you're afraid of putting AC in your classic car, watch that video.
Yeah.
I did this whole AC for less than $850, including the charge.
She's beauty.
It runs perfectly. This is a crate engine that GM used to sell. They don't sell it anymore, but it's absolutely perfect engine for a cruiser. This thing never gives me a lick of trouble. On the power tour, it ran a little hot, probably because this condenser is here, but I need to get an electric fan for it, and then it will not be a problem anymore.
Yeah. You know, this is one of the, I can say that whenever we drive, it doesn't matter how far we go, I feel secure. I'm like, we're going to be fine.
Yeah.
I mean, we just drove this to Louisville.
Yep.
Um,
Yeah, we took
like-
this to the NSRA Nats.
yeah, and that is like 200 miles.
Yeah.
She did great.
Yep. And it's, you know, Christina helped me with the interior. So the interior is pretty much done other than the carpet and the headliner.
Check out that beautiful AC.
Yep.
I tell you.
Yep. So the next step is we need to put some heat insulation on the floor and then the carpet. Then I'll call it good.
Yeah. Well, you know what? This car never lets us down, so
Yep.
it's technically good now.
Yeah. I bought this from a man in Hurst, Texas. And if he's watching, he's a special guy. We actually got to be friends. And his craftsmanship on this car was unreal. I'll give you a quick example. If you really know 54 Chevys, you know that these taillights are not supposed to be all red. It's supposed to be a backup light in here. He didn't like that, so he custom made these taillights to be red and red. This car is loaded with stuff like that. He can do work that I could only dream of doing. Unbelievable guy. And
Well, I think it goes both ways because you had to do the engine in this car.
I did.
So
I did.
it takes two.
Yeah.
One for interior, exterior,
Yep.
one for the other. Underneath the hood, the mechanics of it. It takes two.
Yeah. Well, he was a great guy anyway.
You still contact him and talk from time to time.
Oh, yeah. All right, so now this is an awesome rig right here. This is Christina's car named Lula. It's very dirty right now because it's been outside because we've been working on other stuff. But this is a 1952 Chevy, the same year as Lou.
Yeah.
And this thing was a $900 auction win. We've got a cool, fun video on that auction.
We actually have a video from where I found the advertisement for the auction on my birthday.
Yep.
And he wanted to take me to a nice dinner for my birthday, and I said, "Can we please go to this junky house that's been, left for I think it was 10 years?"
Yeah, it was empty a long time. There were
The
5 or 6
the
cars.
grass was up to our knees. I was like, that would be a better birthday gift for me. And he was like, okay. And that's what we did. So there's actually a video of when we went out there and looked, and then the guy out there pulled a gun on me. Do you remember?
Yes.
The neighbor was like, "Who are you?" I took $400 and did all of this. And trust me, if you don't know what it looked like before, you got to check that out because I impressed myself.
It's not stock.
No, that's one of the reasons it was so much better. It makes her special.
This is a 235 out of a 57 Chevy truck. You might notice the green color. And it runs fantastic. It had
She
such
runs good.
crappy compression when we got it. But now it's great.
Yeah.
No issues.
But this fall, me and Lula, we had a long date together
We've already got the glass.
for her windows.
We've already started to move some parts from Lou, like this awesome hood ornament. Look at the condition of that thing.
Yeah, it's amazing.
So I really want to start taking this to shows. Next year's Redneck Rumble, we're not going unless we take this.
Yeah, but it's probably going to look a lot nicer than this.
This is one of the most asked about cars from comments, from emails, whatever, that I have. This is a 1972 Buick Skylark. This is, out of all my possessions, this is the most special. The reason for that is, in 1986, my brother Andrew and I went to the town next door to look for a car for him. He was in high school at the time, and it was this car. And it was in bad shape, but it ran, and it had a beautiful interior, and he bought it. He paid $450 for this in 1986. And it was his life after that. He never got married, never had children, but he always had this Buick. And he sunk money into it, and there's mods in this thing like you can't believe. You may notice, for example, how wide the tires are. They're massive. Andrew researched painstakingly how wide of a tire and what offset wheel you'd need to get this under it. And at the time, nobody was doing that. Nobody was putting 17-inch wheels this wide on an A-body. Sure, it's done today. People even do 18s and others. Nobody was doing it then. He figured it out. And he did that, and it's lowered a little bit with Trans Am spindles and an adjustable rear suspension because he loved to autocross. When I tell you that this thing handles like my Mustang, it's no joke. It handles amazing. But look at this mess. So what's going on here? Years ago, when I was living in Dallas, I was looking for someone to paint the car. My dad and I painted it in 1987, and it lasted good. It lasted very well, but it needed to be redone. And in 2006, Andrew passed away and left it to me. I needed it painted. I wanted a professional job, so I didn't do it. I left it to a shop. And they screwed me. That's probably the easiest, kindest word to say. They ripped the vinyl top off, which was nothing wrong with it. And they took the bumpers off and they did nothing for months. And they let it sit out in the Texas sun. So I got angry one day and I went and I grabbed the bumper, put it on, and took it. And I never paid them a dime. But I had a car without a paint and a vinyl top. So I took care of the paint. The vinyl top is still not finished. I need to get it done. It's taped up because I actually had to drive it to the new house
Right.
without the top ripping off. I need to make this a priority. I just haven't.
Let's look inside. Oh, yeah.
So this is a Doug Nash 5-speed, which is a fantastic transmission. Tilt wheel, gauges, factory tack. It's got performance seats because frankly the original buckets, you can't sit in them. This thing handles like with such intensity you'd slide out of the seat.
Wow. Can we look under the hood?
Yeah, it's dirty.
Oh, well, yeah. It's okay. They'll forgive you.
It's a GS hood, and the GS hood's been on it since the 80s.
Really?
Yeah, he got it out of a junkyard.
Wow.
And that is the third engine it's had. It's a Buick 350, all souped up. It's got some TA performance intake, Poston valve covers, you name it. This thing flies. 12-volt posi. It's very, very dirty right now, but batteries in the trunk. I mean, he did everything to get this thing to handle. You should see the rear suspension on this.
Now, the trim is in the trunk.
Yeah.
He
yeah.
took... Did you tell me that he took the trim off because of that extra little weight?
He took the nameplates off of
The
it.
nameplates,
like
okay.
Skylark and stuff. There used to be Skylark in the back. He took all that off. I don't know why. I never asked him why he did. I have all that, but it'll never go back on the car because I want it exactly as he had it, which is this color, the original color, the white top, and the black interior, which is a pretty odd combo, but that's factory for this car. I'm not going to talk much about this one, except to say there's a Will It Run video on our main channel on Monday. Check it out. And I'm glad I just watched this. This is a 2004 GMC 4x4. This truck is special to me. This was my dad's truck. And when he passed away, he left it to me. And this is our primary Will It Run vehicle because at this moment, it's the only running truck that I have. But honestly, I want to keep this in really nice shape. It's super low mileage and all, and it's pretty nice. So I don't want to keep using it as a work truck, but we'll get to that. This truck is a 5.3 LS automatic, and that's pretty much it. It's cool though because it's a short bed 4x4 in factory black, and you just don't see those much anymore. So this is Christina's daily driver. It's a 2013 Toyota. What is it?
RAV4.
RAV4.
Limited edition.
It's super important to me.
It is.
Limited edition. This, before we got the truck, this was our Will It Run vehicle. We did a lot of hauling with this, with all the tools and everything in the kit. It's been a really good rig. It's getting up there in the mileage, but hey, I have no complaints with this thing.
Neither do I. Now this one is interesting.
Yeah, if there's a vehicle that you could say, it's my baby, it's this one. This is a 2021 Mustang GT with the blackout package and the adjustable exhaust, meaning that you can push a button to make it loud or not. I never intended to own this car. It's too new for me and all that, but I had a 2015 Mustang. And I'll tell you a quick story about that 2015. In 1993, I went into a Ford dealership in Massachusetts, and one of the last Fox bodies was on the showroom floor. It was a white LX50 5-speed, and I so wanted that car, and I held off because it wasn't the practical thing to do. It took me until 2015 to actually buy a new Mustang, and I bought a GT, that gray color, super cool car, relatively low mileage, and then some lady pulled out in front of me and it got totaled. This was in 2022. I took the check from that wreck, this car had 40,000 miles on it, and bought this in full off the lot, brand new, 7 miles on it. If you remember how crazy used car values were back then, that's how I ended up with this car. I didn't pay a penny for it. Basically traded in a 40,000 mile car that was 7 years old and got this. I still don't know how it happened. Maybe because it's a 6-speed and people didn't want to stick. I don't know. But that's how I've got it. And I don't use this very much. You know, I'm probably going to be one of those old guys that dies off and it's in his garage and somebody's talking about, hey, that guy down the street has this low mileage GT. That's probably going to be me. And it's going to be this car.
The neighbor's dog. Hey, Lucy. Woo, she came over and she scared Nova away. Ah, you are so excited this evening. She's so funny. I like that dog a lot.
We've also had some recent departures that we get asked about.
Yeah.
The first is the 49 Chevy, the Music Legends car. What was it, Bill Purcell?
Yes.
Bill Purcell's car. That car was purchased by one of our viewers, cool guy, and he is completely redoing that, but leaving the outside as it is.
Mm-hmm.
He bought I think a C4, maybe a C5 Vet, and he's putting that Vet drivetrain in that 49 Fleetline.
Yeah.
It's going to be awesome.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see the end result there because he's already well on his way. We also had the 93 Geo Metro. Very unusual for our channel and frankly, not the most views we've ever had. But it's gone. We sold it. I bought it at auction and we sold it to a young man. It's going to be his very first car.
That's
His
right.
dad and he came to look at it. They loved it and they bought it. So
Yeah.
I'm so glad I was able to save that. That thing was going to be put into a monster truck show that very night of the auction if I hadn't bought it.
about that.
Yeah, the person I beat in the auction was going to take it across the street to the monster truck show
Yeah.
and do jumps and stuff with it. So we saved it. The 50 Dodge truck that we used the excavator to pull out of a shed and to get the bed out of the woods. That truck we got running and driving, as you've seen if you haven't watched the video.
Yeah, that's
And-
one of my favorite videos. I don't know why it has like close to 70,000 views, and I don't know why because that was super cool.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
I don't get it either, but you never know about what's going to resonate with people. But
Yeah.
ultimately, that is now in North Carolina.
Mhm.
Somebody came up from North Carolina, a Dodge fan, and he's restoring it. So super happy about that too. So that is another recent departure.
And I feel like there's so many other vehicles that we have sold, which we have, but Richard just wanted to talk about the ones that we
Relatively recent.
parted with this year. So just know that if there was a vehicle that we personally had and you did not see it, rest assured we found a good home for it. It did not go to the crusher. It went somewhere where someone was either going to restore it.
If we bought it, yeah.
Yeah, I said if we bought it.
Yeah.
That it either went to someone that had plans to restore it, or I think that's pretty much it.
Yeah,
Like,
we haven't junked anything.
No, and we don't sell to someone if we know they're going to junk it.
Yep.
Because we give them the third degree. What are you going to do with this car?
Yeah.
Do you have references?
Yeah.
I mean, like, we're pretty strict, so it's kind of funny, but we are.
So we hope you like this.
Yeah.
Hopefully it answers a lot of questions that we get. If you liked it, give it a like. We can do more of this type of stuff.
Yeah.
If you didn't like it, tell us and tell us why.
Until next time, guys.
Thanks
for
again
watching.
for watching.
Appreciate all of you, and we'll be
Chatting with you in the comments. Have a great week.
So we're trying to go in the house, and Lucy, the neighbor's dog, scared Nova. She's in the tree. Richard is trying to convince her to come down. Oh my goodness. Oh, finally, there she goes.